Hey folks, how you doing? This is The Truth Experience right here on American Liberty Radio Network. I am live with you tonight on the 17th of April, 2017. How are you tonight? You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to thetruthexperience.weebly.com for more information. Shall I say it, or do you already know? There is so much going on. We are at now. I'm gonna start doing DEF CON notifications. There's 5 of those, and when you get to one, you're pretty much it's game on at that point. So right now, I would say with what Google is doing, what Yahoo is doing, all of these people are doing. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to put this out here. We are at DEF CON 3. I believe we are, because there's a lot going on, folks. There is a lot going on. I cannot even begin to understand why all of this is happening in the way that it is, because, as I've said before, things change every 5 minutes, and we got to be on top of these things, We got to stay on top. The alternative independent media has to stay on top of these things. If you go to YouTube, you look up Dabu7 at Dabu777, his YouTube channel. You can see his how many times he puts up videos and all of that during a day, so things change every 5 minutes. You can go and see the special reports at Infowars.com. I run the place. I'm the only, I'm the chief window washer and bottle washer of the place. So Mike Cernovich over at Medium.com says Google takes out major contract to delist Infowars from its search index. Infowars articles must be rated low to medium. Google has hired contractors to remove or limit Alex Jones's website, Infowars, from its search engines, according to a search engine evaluator for Google. All contractors have been instructed to actively rate Infowars as a low-quality or untrusted site. Okay, right there. It's on The Truth Experience on Facebook. Right there is there. That article right there tells you that now Google is censoring websites, period. End of sentence. Google is censoring everyone. Okay? And whether or not you want to believe it, I don't really want to go here, but I will. I don't care if you want to believe it or not, but the government is behind all of it. When I say the government, let me put that in little g, government. I'm talking the deep state. We'll just call it the shadow government, because that's what it is. That's been known for 40 years plus, that we have a shadow government running things. We have a shadow government running things. Let me also tell you this, and I'm going to say this because it's true. The United States of America is a corporate fiction. The USA has been incorporated since 1871. The so-called, quote-unquote, government has no jurisdiction outside of Washington, D.C. The country is owned by the Bank of England, the Rothschilds family. Okay? Period. End of sentence, folks. End of sentence. Okay? I am done with the detractors. I am done with negative people. I am done listening to morons that say Infowars, naturalnews.com, all of these other patriot sites that are out there, much like Infowars, much like Natural News. I'm tired of people telling me that's fake news. I'm tired of people telling me that in other subjects, such as what Secure Team 10 talks about, and how all of that, what they talk about and what they get into. Let me tell you this right now. I'm going to point my finger right at every single detractor, right at every single person out there that says that I'm nothing but a conspiracy theorist. I'm pointing my finger at you, and I'm going to tell you this. F off. You know nothing. You absolutely are the stupidest people on the face of the planet, period, end of sentence, done. Okay? So until you can get even a modicum of common sense and show a little bit of intelligence, every story that you put out, every report that you put out, you detractors, you naysayers, you people that are against Alex Jones or any number of those people, let me tell you this. Until you can get some decorum of intelligence in your head and understand what's going on and understand that you yourself are in the crosshairs of the New World Order, I don't want to listen to one thing you have to say because you are irrelevant. Period. I don't really care one bit what people have to say. I really, really don't. Okay? Honestly, I really don't. Now, when I say that, you're probably going to say, well, you don't want people to have an opinion. No. Let me clarify this for you. People are going to point their fingers at me and claim that I am something or that I am not something. Let me tell you this. Let me put this out here right now. I know who I am. You don't. You don't walk in my shoes every day. You don't know what I know. You don't run where I run. You don't talk to the people I've talked to in the last 40 plus years. You haven't done what I've done. And granted, you could also say I haven't done what you've done. But let me tell you this. I started out debunking everything. Every subject, everything across the board, until the proverbial rug was pulled out from underneath me one night, and I realized, with a massive epiphany, what I was doing. I will never engage with anyone who has nothing to show, nothing relevant to present, and nothing but lies to say. I'm not engaging with you. Okay? That's it. So let me move on to this. This is very important. This popular children's medication is quote unquote basically crystal meth, warning leading neuro doctors. This is from papabuzz.com. ADD and ADHD are the result of neurotransmitter and neuroendocrine imbalances. The four main imbalances include high norepinephrine, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm sorry because I don't know. And cortisol, dopamine dysfunction, serotonin deficiency, and insulin irregularity. Each of these imbalances are rooted in nutritional deficiencies that, with correction, improve symptoms of hyperactivity and inattention. Food allergies and intolerances also contribute to malabsorption of nutrients. Did you hear that? Food allergies and intolerances also contribute to malabsorption of nutrients. That's also on the Truth Experience Facebook page. Okay? I wanted to do a show because I didn't really have time to put a podcast together, because I didn't have a whole lot of information. I was running around. I have other things to do outside of the studio. So I wanted to make sure that people got to hear me today, so I figured I'd do a live show. You can always email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com, AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. You can go to thetruthexperience.weebly.com. What I want to talk about now is a little something that I've seen, that I've heard from many different people that say nothing is wrong with this country, that this is the greatest country in the world. Have you guys been asleep for the last 8 years? It's obvious that democratic socialists and Marxists want this country to be a communist nation. Okay? California's gone. New York is gone. Illinois is gone, basically. Specifically Chicago. Washington is getting that. Washington State is getting that way. But there's like a battle going on, so there's a lot of things happening. But the thing that you have to understand is that people will always be contentious against anything that is efficient and effective and builds people up. That's the bottom line, okay? That's the bottom line. People will never be satisfied with what you give them because, well, one, they'll think you're holding back, and two, if you have more than enough that you can give them, they think that they want it all, and they want you to give you everything, to give them everything. They want you to give them everything that you have so that you can have nothing. That's the two types of people we're dealing with in the United States and in the world today. This is what it is. I don't really understand why. I don't understand why people refuse to accept the truth. I really don't. I really don't understand why people don't want to accept the truth. Okay? I find it incredibly odd that there is a mindset, if you will, of this feeling, this sense, this degree of contentiousness out there by people who don't want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States. Oh, they want it, but let me give you a movie example. I usually like doing this sometimes, so this is one of the times. If you go back to I believe it was Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, and you see Senator Palpatine, Darth Sidious in Congress, that's what their Congress was, and you hear what he has to say to bring peace to the galaxy. When you hear what he has to say in the context and the symbolism he is saying it, you understand what's going on and why people want the United States of America to fall. And you know to what degree a new society will be built within the United States. You understand this. You know this. It's there. There is no way of getting around it. Absolutely no way. And these people, believe it or not, these people have this sense of entitlement, if you will. They have this sense of they believe that they are entitled to all these things because, as they would tell you, they believe that they deserve it. They don't deserve squat. Okay? They don't deserve a thing. Okay? Now, a lot of people would say, well, why not? They want to be on the system. The government needs to, cover them and, Medicare and yada, yada, yada and all of that, right? Why wouldn't the government want to cover them? Somebody has to, right? Well, let me tell you something. These folks that think they deserve to take everything from the hardworking people out there and take. These people think that they're going to get it. These people think that it's all theirs. These people think that as far as they are concerned, no one else should have anything. Okay? Now, I might be just going way overboard on that, but I'm not. I understand where it's coming from. I understand where it's coming from. I know where it's coming from. Okay? And a lot of people will say, a lot of people on that side of the debate will say, if we don't get it, we're going to take it. Now, I know that, that you don't see that. You're going to say, well, prove it. I don't see it. It's because you're not looking for it. You're not looking for the symbolism within the context of what they're saying. You don't. I've studied symbolism. I know what I'm looking for. A little water. And let me put it to you this way. And I know that a lot of people who would look at me and say that I'm wrong. Well, all I got to do is look back at them and say, prove it. They cannot prove anything to me that I don't already know, that I haven't already looked at, that I haven't already assessed and drawn my own conclusions about. That is why I can look at the people who are against peace, freedom, liberty, and security in this nation and tell you exactly who they are and how they function. Because I know them. Okay? I grew up in Stockton, California. There's a lot of good people there, but their hands are tied. As a society, as a culture, as citizenry of Stockton, California, their hands are tied by the laws and the ordinances of the city and of the county and of the state, and they cannot protect themselves in the city of Stockton, California. If it were me, if I were governor of California, I would just immediately sign an executive order repealing every other executive order and turning California into an open carry state. I would also sign a document that would say every single citizen in the state of California now has a right to, number one, take care of themselves. That's whether in business they want to grow, they want to succeed, or in their own personal life and protect themselves in their own neighborhood. Then I'd sign one other document giving law enforcement everything they need to combat and contend with and protect the citizens from domestic terrorists we call street gangs. Now, is that the right thing to do? Is that the right thing to do, that someone would come along and just blatantly tear everything else down and let people build themselves up and protect themselves and succeed? Yes. You may see it another way. You might say, and part of the argument could be that if you allow people to just carry guns all over the place, it'll be like the Old West, and, there'd be a lot of dead people around. Have you seen the statistics from the FBI's own records where when people are armed and have armed themselves in a constitutional manner, that number one, crime rate goes down, and number two, accidents, homicides, whatever, by guns are lowered dramatically? Have you seen that? My whole point of that 10-minute rant is this. You got to do what you got to do. You got to take into consideration every single thing you do. You have to pay attention. You have to look at what is there, examine the very needs that you have, and look at the very source of those, needs that you have, and find the resources to make that happen. I know people in Stockton, California that would give their shirt off their back if you needed it. And they're Muslim. I know people who would help you out in business, and they're black. I know teachers who would help you understand something, and they're Hispanic. This is in Stockton, California. I grew up in Stockton, California. Now, I left there, went back and forth between there and Nevada, Reno, Nevada. But when I moved back in 92, I still knew these people. And from 1992 to when I left again permanently in 2006, I can tell you this much. Things dramatically changed. Things dramatically changed. Okay? Now, I don't know what people are going to do now in Stockton, California. I have no idea. But I'm calling out everyone in Stockton, California to do what they have to take their city back. And to do what they have to get rid of that damn stupid-ass governor you guys have. I remember as a kid when Jerry Brown was governor. He screwed the state up then, and he's doing it now. But he's doing it with a purpose. Before it was just, I'm going to, get rich off the taxpayers. No, now it's like I have to please my New World Order bosses. That's what he is. Okay? So anyway, folks. Bottom of the hour coming up. Hey, go check out a friend of mine, Mr. Tom Slick, over at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Check him out. Go check out The Morning Brew. He hosts The Morning Brew, and it's independent musicians and artists all over the world. And that show is really cool. The Morning Brew. Go check out Mr. Tom Slick at The Morning Brew at Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to their website at 926theblitz.rocks. 926theblitz.rocks. Or go to their blog page at radiorocktheblitz.blogspot.com. Also check out Mr. Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio and TV at livetruthradio.com. Check him out as well. He's got a lot to talk about over there. He has Fred Schneider from Overpasses for America on every so often. He's very, very good at what he does, and he's very, very wise. I say that because we're about equal when we know, both of us know what's going on. But let's just say there's a lot of things that he talks about that I never thought to look from that perspective. So he's got some very, very interesting perspective on things. And so check him out at Live Truth Radio and Television at livetruthradio.com. Check him out, Brian D. Lang on Facebook as well. Let's see, who else? Yeah, Mr. Nick Tucker. Yeah, Nick Tucker. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker right here on American Liberty Radio Network. Also, Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker over at distortedreality.podbean.com. And check him out at distortedreality.podbean.com. Check out the latest podcast. We'll have one coming up soon. Him and I it's unscripted, no monitors, no nothing. We just get on air and we got maybe 3 or 4 subjects and we just run with them. And that's the best hour and a half that you could ever listen to, I would say, other than this show, The Truth Experience. But, yeah, just so much going on, folks. So much going on. If you want to donate to American Liberty Radio Network, you can. Yeah, we'd like to keep the lights on around here for you and give you more news and views that you can use. And so, guess what? You can help us out at AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page and become a patron. Yes, click that little link right there. Drop $1 in the kitty to help us keep the lights on around here, folks. And that would be very, very much appreciated. And drop in whatever you want. 5, 10, 15, 20. It doesn't matter. Hey, we got to keep the lights on around here. Whatever you can afford, folks, drop it there. And this network would very much appreciate it. So thank you very much. We're going to get out of here in a few minutes for the bottom of the hour break. So, folks, I don't know where to begin to tell you that things are not the way you imagined. And if I can stop belching, I'll be good. I don't want to do it on air. I try to let the air out very slowly, but sometimes it just does not work that way. Folks, got to break a little early here. I shall be back in 3.5. Don't go away. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, and American Liberty Radio on Spreaker.com. Broadcasting from FEMA Region 8, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. This is the American Liberty Radio Network.
The people of the world are now seeing what the globalists have always intended. They are engaged in a campaign to rid the world of 90% of humanity. They are well on their way of achieving this. But, with the corrupt mainstream media aligning themselves with such diabolical philosophies, the globalists are now being exposed and the people are now seeing them for who they truly are. Thanks for the most part to the independent media revealing the connection of the mainstream media to globalists like George Soros and others who invest and spread disinformation.
Don't say you haven't been warned. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. distortedreality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the Truth Experience right here on American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, thetruthexperience.weebly.com. You can also email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. How are you? Are you good? Are you happening? Are you there? Are you Are you having fun? Did you have a good Easter? Did you have a good weekend? Just kind of, relaxing after that long weekend. We got another one coming up, Memorial Day, I think it is. Yeah, so I'm going to be gone that weekend, probably till Sunday. So there might not be, unless I can squeeze it in, there might not be a Friday podcast for that week. So I don't know. Who knows? Hey, I may even have somebody else do a podcast, so I don't know. I have no clue. That's quite a ways off, isn't it? So anyway, folks. Hey, a little follow-up to the story about Google. Infowars.com, 17th of April 2017. Breaking: Google admits to censoring Infowars, claims it will stop First Amendment victory after search engine exposed. Google is backing down and has blamed a vendor for wrongly telling its staff to rank Infowars as low-quality content, Business Insider reported on Monday. The vendor, hired by Google, uses contractors to rate the quality of websites in order to aid the search engine's algorithms. Leaked photos showing the vendor targeting an Infowars article were originally posted online this week by independent journalist Mike Cernovich. Google told Business Insider that it does not order quote-unquote quality raters, raters, quality raters to target specific sites, but instead gives quote-unquote general rules on how to shape the algorithm. Quote, Google's spokesperson distanced the company from the contractor's instructions, telling Business Insider that it does not instruct quality raters how to grade specific websites, but gives general rules to get unbiased feedback to improve the algorithm. Unquote, the article states. In an official statement, Google said the specific mention of Infowars was removed from the vendor's training module. Quote, in this instance, we have confirmed that a vendor we work with sent out more detailed instructions to some raters without our knowledge, which included references to specific sites, unquote, the spokesperson said. Quote, this is in conflict with the intent of our guidelines, and the vendor has taken action to remove these references in their training module, unquote. I'm putting that on the Truth Experience on Facebook. Yeah. It's basically get caught with your hand in the cookie jar and then go, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm not taking a cookie. Yeah, you are. I'm looking right at you. No, it was this guy over here. Yeah, as they take their hand out of the cookie jar and point across the room. You know what I mean? There you go, folks. It's on The Truth Experience on Facebook. Just so much going on, so much. I cannot even, like I said at the beginning, I can't begin to even tell you how much stuff is happening. Legal border crossings plummet under Trump. The number of inadmissibles plummeted in the first 3 months of the year. That's a good one. This is at Infowars.com, by the way, on the front page. Quote unquote, we have no choice. Trump justifies U.S. strikes, military buildup and posturing. Quote, our military is building and is rapidly becoming stronger than ever before, unquote. The U.S. president tweeted Sunday, quote, frankly, we have no choice, unquote. I have to agree. I don't agree with, if he authorized the generals to do their job, I applaud him on that. But if it is found out that he himself ordered that, then of course, that's of course against the law. Can't do that. So, but I agree with the fact that we have no choice. We have to protect ourselves. Our military has been decimated for 8 years because of a Marxist Muslim president, Marxist political philosophies, and Muslim religion. Okay? He pretty much treated the army treated the military, the armed forces, like, 17 generals? Am I overstating that? Might be less. So Obama fired generals over just really, going against his orders and following the Constitution they pledged to defend. So he fired them, which is unconstitutional, but, I would say. The last country we, quote-unquote, liberated from a quote-unquote evil dictator is now openly trading slaves. Libyan slave trade has recently expanded. See, we go in and screw things up, folks. And I think the old concept of, if the government, puts their finger in the pie, it's going to spoil the pie, or something like anything that the government touches gets ruined. And that's I cannot tell you how much of an understatement that is and how true that is. The Federal Reserve is and always has been politicized. The Federal Reserve has worked to influence politics. We need to get rid of it. Feds collect record taxes, still run deficit of $526 billion is added to the U.S. debt. Taxation is theft. Why do we put up with it? Well, let me read that article for you. These are at the headlines I just read you, and this one included is at Infowars.com. Judge Andrew P. Napolitano, Mises.org, 14th April 2017. With a tax code that exceeds 72,000 pages, yeah, that's right, folks, 72,000 pages in length and consumes more than 6 billion person hours per year to determine taxpayers' taxable income, with an IRS that has been a feared law unto itself, and with a government that continues to extract more wealth from every tax-paying American every year, is it any wonder that April 15th is a day of dread in America? Social Security taxes and income taxes have dogged us all since their institution during the last century, and a few politicians have been willing to address these ploys for what they are: theft. During 2012 election, then Texas Governor Rick Perry caused a firestorm among big government types during Republican presidential primaries last year when he called Social Security a Ponzi scheme. He was right. It's a big scam from its inception, and it's still a scam today. When Social Security was established in 1935, it was intended to provide minimal financial assistance to those too old to work. It was also intended to cause voters to become dependent on Franklin Delano Roosevelt's Democrats. FDR copied the idea from a system established in Italy by Mussolini. The plan was to have certain workers and their employees make small contributions to a fund that would be held in trust for the workers by the government. At the time, the average life expectancy of Americans was 61 years of age, but Social Security didn't kick in until 65. Thus, the system was geared to take money from the average American worker that he would never see returned. There you go. This is going on the Truth Experience Facebook page. Let me just bottom line it for you, folks. Taxation is theft. Social Security is a scam. We need to get rid of both of them. We need to privatize our own. What did your great-grandmother or great-great-grandfather do before Social Security, before they had any of that? Anybody born before 1913 kept all their money. Okay? Anybody that was working before 1913 kept every single dime they made. After 1913 and President Woodrow Wilson's arms being twisted behind his back by his socialist buddies at the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, he signed two documents called the Federal Reserve Act and the Internal Revenue Act. And guess what? We're now suffering under those chains of slavery, and we are perpetually put in debt because of those things. We have to get rid of them. Period. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's a great idea. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Do you remember? Well, you weren't there, so let me tell you what it was. Okay. Let me tell you what it was. On May 10th, 1773, demonstrators, some disguised as Native Americans, in defiance of the Tea Act, destroyed an entire shipment of tea sent by East Indian Company. They boarded the ships and threw the chest of tea into the Boston Harbor. Okay? Down here, and you can go look that up. Just go look up Boston Tea Party. This day in history, what is this? 1773, the Boston Tea Party, the Midnight Raid. Now, the Act of 1773, the British Parliament's Tea Act of 1773, was designed to save the faltering East India Company by greatly lowering its tea tax and granting it a virtual monopoly on the American tea trade. The low tax allowed the East India Company to undercut even tea smuggled into America by Dutch traders, and many colonists viewed the act as another example of taxation tyranny. Okay? Go look under Boston Tea Party. All right? That's what started it all, folks, as far as trying to get rid of taxes. We don't need tax. Before 1913, we had roads, we had police departments, we had fire departments, we had hospitals, we had, even before insurance, folks. Even before insurance companies came on to the stage of history, we made enough to pay for a hospital visit, for a doctor visit. Some doctors, if you know your history, made house calls, hopped on a horse, and rode for miles until you got to the home. Okay? May have taken a couple of days, but the doctor was there. Sometimes in the little towns that were built around railroad stops, doctors walked down the street, went to somebody's home. They made house calls. See, we can't do that now because we're in a perpetual state of debt. And it is constantly being built upon by the federal government. It is constantly being, propagated, if you will, or promulgated. I don't know. We are constantly being shoved back financially when we're making a buck or two. You make $3, they push you back and you only make $2. You make $10 billion, you only make about $6. Because of taxes, because of some regulation, because of the whole thing has to completely be redone. We, the people, need to stand up and say, I've had about enough of this. And we need to do what we have to do here in America. I live here in Billings, Montana. We moved from Nevada, which is just as bad as California now. I live here in Billings, Montana, and I can tell you right now, I have never seen so many people with smiles on their faces. Yeah, certain things are happening. You got, little here, a little there. I hear some sirens. I see the, reports at the Billings Gazette online, of course. I see what's happening, but it's not as bad as it was in California. When I lived in Stockton, I'd go to bed at night, and every 15, 20 minutes, I'd be hearing sirens around my neighborhood, down the street, down a couple miles, whatever. I'd hear them. I lived in Nevada. I would hear them almost on a nightly basis. Okay? But here in Billings, I don't see a whole lot of that. And they're trying to crack down on the drug trade here in Billings. Folks in Billings, I'm going to point my fingers right at you. Your government has absolutely no need to get involved in the war on drugs. You, the citizens of Billings, Montana, need to do that. We need to cooperate with our law enforcement and look at them and say, hey, here's what I'm going to do, and I'll call you. And by the way, did you know, little side note to that, did you know that we have the capability by law to institute a citizen's arrest on anybody? Did you know that? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, please. Send that information to American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Go ahead. Am I right? Can we engage in, pseudo law enforcement? That's what I think citizen's arrest is anyway. Can we do that? We have a lot of people here in Billings, Montana that are common sense, down to earth, hardworking people that know. And here's where I'm going with this. They know we live in an open carry state, and some have concealed carry permits. Their common sense and their intelligence tells them how to operate that firearm. So, I'm not saying go out on your own and, track down these criminals. No, what I'm saying is, if things get to that point, you have a right to defend yourself, period. Oh, and by the way, let me tell you what law gives you that right to do so. The Second Amendment. That's what gives you a right to do that. Now, I don't know if Montana has the same law as Florida, which is the stand your ground law. I have no idea. So somebody want to send me that information as well? American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Let me know. My whole point of those two things that I talked about There's two things I just talked about. Taxes and all of that, and the fact that we can protect ourselves. If someone is stealing from you, what do? You have the right, the human right, to defend yourself. Do you not? Of course, use common sense, but do you not have a right to defend yourself? If somebody's stealing your money, do you not have the right to defend yourself? Say yes or no, because, hey, I'm going to defend myself. I don't know about you, but I'm going to defend myself. Okay? That's the natural thing to do. That's the common sense thing to do. So why are you allowing the federal government to come up with 72,000 pages of tax code to steal your money? This is ridiculous. With a capital ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. Okay? And a little side note to that, why are you allowing your city to overregulate your business even if you're starting a business and put you in debt long before you open your doors? That's ridiculous. Okay? So something has to change. Okay? Something has to change. And it better change pretty damn quick. Okay? Because as far as I'm concerned, personally, from my own perspective, I'm getting sick and tired of it. I'm getting sick and tired not only of the government telling us how to live and what we should pay and how we should do things and all of that. I'm sick and tired of that. But you know what I'm sick and tired of as well? And this is a close tie to first place, is ignorant people causing contention and conflict with people who want peace, freedom, liberty, and security for the United States of America. And I'll call them out for who they truly are. Communists. Okay? Period. So enough of my rant. Enough of my rant. So, citizens of Billings, Montana, you got a choice. Either get your governor out of office and work with the city to build your city up in a positive way, being able to protect yourself and use the resources and innovation to build your business, or not. Billings, Montana, when we moved here, my significant other and I, we make a go of it. But I'll tell you this much. I'm seeing a lot of stuff from my Facebook friends who live near here and within the city limits, posting about what the governor is doing and how much it is going to negatively impact the citizenry of Montana. So I would think that the citizens of Helena would say something. I'm seeing things objectively, folks. And I think the representatives in Congress who represent this state need a freaking wake-up call. You either do your damn job that we tell you to do, or we will call for an emergency vote and get your ass out and put people in there that know what they're doing. And we'll do it to the letter of the Constitution. That's the choices, folks. Either continue in the mire and continue to slog forward and not reach the point at which you want to be, or get shoved back down into your rut. You got a choice, Billings. You've got a choice, Helena. You've got a choice, citizens of Montana. It's make or break time. You either play ball or you forfeit the game. It's up to you. I don't think your Grizzlies would ever forfeit a game. Although I could be wrong. Folks, coming up to the top of the hour, and I just want to tell you that I was considering going 2 hours tonight, but I won't. I'll save some for tomorrow on the American Liberty Radio Network podcast. So the facts are the facts, folks, and they're out there, and they're staring you in the face. There is no longer any conspiracy theories that you could ever claim because it's all in your face. The only problem is it's your problem that you're not looking at the facts and the truth, period. That's one point. Second point is this. Google is censoring people. That's it. Number one, I do not really give a rip, and nor do I believe that they're going to fix the problem. And number three, taxation is theft. By the way, if you look under Harry Reid on YouTube, look under Harry Reid, taxation is voluntary, taxes are voluntary, I should say, you will see what he says. I cannot quote it, so I won't. Go look up Harry Reid, taxes are voluntary. Go look up that little piece of video and you tell me whether or not taxes are theft. I know they are. I know they are. But how are we going to run the government? How are we going to do this? Brr, 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 brr. Hey, if I had the answers, I'd give them to you. I just know we need to repeal the Internal Revenue Act and the Federal Reserve Act. We also need to repeal the Act of 1871. So, there you go. And let's be like Canada and combine the military into one American force. How's that? Would that work for you? We'd save billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars a year. Anyway, folks, it's always good to come to you live or recorded because it's interesting to me, and I say this all the time, things change every 5 minutes. If people aren't paying attention, well, that's your problem. I'm here telling you what's going on behind the curtain, who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. And I'm telling you what's what. I'm telling you exactly what's going on. And while you're working or playing or whatever, I don't care what you're doing, it's still going on. Just because you close your eyes doesn't mean the bad things are going to go away. They're still going to be there. And I'm still going to be here. So it's incredible that we have to continue to do this. Can we not just dump everything and start over? Can we hit the reset button on this massive PS4 game? Huh? I don't know, folks. You're going to have to determine that on your own. How are we going to change things if we're mired in the mud of intolerance and all of this? How are we going to change things? We've got to decide now, today, this minute, how we're going to do that. Folks, I got to get out of here. This is American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com is the website. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com is the email address. Please, folks, drop $1 in the kitty on AmericanLibertyRadio.com on the sponsors page. Help me keep the lights on around here. And I am going to go away, but I will be back tomorrow on the American Liberty Radio Network podcast. Talk to you then. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.